Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am here with Jamie Slay, who is a Canadian Paris figure skater, best known for winning Olympic gold at Salt Lake City in 2002 alongside her partner. Post skating, Sally has worked as a motivational speaker, launching her own coaching and mentoring business, and become a prominent advocate. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jamie.
Thank you for having me, Chloe.
Absolutely. So, we would love to get to know a little bit about your background and kind of how you transitioned from being a athlete to now being an advocate. What did that journey look like? And I know it's a
Well,
long story, but just walk us
yeah,
through it a little.
yeah. So I'm going to assume that the advocate is for freedom,
Mhm.
right? So this was an interesting journey for me. I was very much a professional figure skater for about 10 years. We were away a lot skating and doing many shows. I think I was only home for 3 or 4 months out of the year, and then decided to have a family. And I retired in 2012 from skating and went into coaching. It took me a while actually to figure out what I wanted to do. I just wasn't sure um, what career path I was, interested in, what really lit me up. So I let myself sort of enjoy my mothering life for a while, and then I dove into neuroscience and transformational coaching, which I absolutely loved. And then COVID hit, and of course, everything went online, and I wasn't able to do workshops in person anymore. And that was really what I enjoyed the most, was connecting with people. And what I realized about a year and a bit into COVID was that we were living a complete lie, and we were being pulled into something that was very concerning and disturbing for me. And of course, I, like many others that you've probably interviewed, I went down all the rabbit holes and started researching and doing my homework around a lot of different things, and discovered something much grander than what I initially thought. And so it actually was what I would call my dark night of the soul, or my true awakening. And I actually had to leave coaching in general because I felt like I wasn't able to be the the coach that I could be or wanted to be with the way I was feeling. And I thought, if this awakening is disrupting me and my belief system and rattling me the way it is, I'm not going to be any good to anybody. So I just pressed pause on that. And I do miss, obviously, working with people, and I miss the program. I miss the whole thing. But really what I did was I just dove into healing myself and my past traumas, and a lot of the things that I've gone through my life, and worked on myself. I went within, which was the best gift that I could have given myself. And in that process, I also joined many other freedom groups, and just wanted to be a part of a community that was like-minded, really. And I think that's what we were all striving for a long time, was, you're reaching out on social media and you're trying to find other people that think like you, and can see the things that you see. So that's really what I did. I dove in to local groups and groups that, across the country or even around the world. And I was a part of what we called a media team for a while, with Theron Fleury, who's out of Calgary, Alberta. And it's called Canadians for Truth, and I really enjoyed that very much. We did a show once a month and had a guest on our shows, and I love that very much. Not only just having the guests, and that we're talking about their personal experience during the COVID time, but also just, again, connecting with those kinds of communities. And we found that that was really healing for all of us. Unfortunately, I had to step away from that as well, for health reasons, and again worked on just more healing. And I got married actually July 11th, and so I'm very just focused on this new family that we've created, and nurturing that, and as well as staying connected in this community with We Unify, and the event in September. I'm really excited about it.
That is awesome. So it sounds like a lot of the things that you learned came from that community that you built. So can you talk a little bit about what it was like to kind of start from the outside and moving in? Why was it so important for you to find like-minded people
Mhm.
and truly build that environment of like trust and community?
I believe that most of us felt alone.
Mhm.
I literally lost my whole community, my old world. Told me that they didn't want to be around me if I didn't get the vaccine. They thought my beliefs that were changing, what I was seeing, they thought I was going down a dark path and I was being labeled a bunch of things. And then when the trucker convoy happened and I started posting publicly, I got called all kinds of names. And it was really, really difficult for me. And I actually felt kind of scared even. I thought, what is happening right now? Why is it that I can see this? And the thousands of people that were at the convoy with me saw it as well. And I just really felt that I needed to be around people, more people. And it's just that gives you that sense of community and that you're not crazy and that there are others out there that are seeing this and completely understand what's going on and that there are people out there willing to fight. And that was the one of the, not physically, well, maybe there are people that are willing to physically, obviously, but for me it was stand up, fight by using my voice. And actually, through my healing process, I created I would say, a stronger relationship with our creator. And I prayed a lot. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I actually was told one day, I was sitting in my living room during prayer asking to show me the way through this because I felt scared. And I had said to you, I had gone to some meetings and, some events and whatnot, but it was so loud. It's go time. Use your voice. And it makes me emotional because when I was skating, whew, I think that time really prepared me to be the warrior, or what we're calling each other, the warriors of this time who are willing to literally risk it all. And, because obviously my reputation publicly across Canada has been, I wouldn't say, I don't like to use the word tarnished, but in the old world that I was in, I was very much in the sports world and they talked about me as Canada's sweetheart. And now if you Google me on Wikipedia, it's like Olympic gold medalist turned conspiracy theorist. They've really tried to make me look bad. And I've had many, many hit pieces done on me. And not just in the sports world, and in general fake news, as President Trump calls it. And it's the same up in Canada, if not worse, because we don't have a news outlet that does tell any truth, except the alternatives ones that we all created, right? So that's why it was so important for me to find these communities and speak at them and just go and be with people, because hugging someone or meeting somebody that you'd never met before, but just knowing that they're there to stand up for our freedom and our rights, it was like unifying. And it was like, this is my family, this is my tribe, and we all love each other. It's a beautiful thing. It's awesome.
That sounds amazing. How have you all learned to, or is it still a work in progress, learning to have conversations with people who have beliefs that are different than yours? I've noticed there tends to be a lot of one-sided conversations, like these
Yeah.
advocates, they're trying to get in, they're trying to have conversations with people, but it's just like talking to a wall. So how do
Yeah.
you navigate that? How does your team navigate that?
I don't do it very well, not going to lie.
Me neither. That's okay. I'm still learning.
I'm not great at it and it's not because it's like, hey, it's my way or the highway, or, only I know the truth. It's just more of what I've decided to do, Chloe, is not put my energy and time into having conversations with people that aren't willing to be open minded and have an open heart about what has just happened. And not just the last 4 years. We know this has been going on for a very long time. This has been a plan for a very long time. I mean, I don't know exactly, but it's been decades. But the last 4 years were the most obvious for most of us, right? And so if somebody's just going to sit and argue with me instead of asking questions or being curious, then I just don't feel that it's worth my time or energy. And I even have that with family. Like, some family are getting more curious. Some of them are messaging me going, "Hey, what did you mean when you posted this?" Or, "What does that really mean?" Because I'm really going out there on I've gone down the rabbit holes about, one of the biggest issues that we have in this planet is child and human trafficking. And so a lot of them haven't gone there yet, right? Like, they just know that something's not right about COVID and something wasn't right about these shots. And so they're kind of going, Yeah. So, um, yeah, Chloe, I just really don't entertain a lot of these people. If they're closed-minded, it's like, and I actually saw lots of spiritual conversations around it is not our job to wake people up. And I struggle with that a little bit because I feel like that was sort of what we came here to do also. That why am I awake? Why are you awake? Why are some of the, these other people you're interviewing and the people coming to these conferences and going to freedom groups, why are they awake and others aren't? But they are, right? They are slowly waking up. It's because we all have contributed in some way or another. And not everybody's on social media, right? That's not necessarily their way. And so I don't even judge the people that are awake that aren't speaking out on social media. I just go, well, if you're having conversations or you're writing your MLAs with, government officials in your towns or your schools or whatever, you're doing something. And that to me was what was important is how are we all contributing?
Absolutely. And even contribution on a small scale can make a huge
Yeah.
difference, right? Like everybody has different skill sets and different ways that they can,
Yes.
I don't know, help
Well,
move culture change forward.
yeah, exactly. And you don't know who you're going to impact or you're going to connect with when you do that, right? So that's why don't ever think that, any a small contribution is nothing and it's going to go nowhere. It's
Mhm.
something.
So if you were to have a conversation with somebody who has just begun the process of curiosity, the process of asking questions, how would
Hmm.
you direct them toward the right path? Because I know for some people it can be super overwhelming to look at all
Oh,
these,
yes.
conspiracy theories and controversies and not even know where to start in terms of finding
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah. Well, Out of Shadows is a great documentary, and The Fall of the Cabal. And unfortunately, these documentaries are on Rumble, which was new to me when I was waking up. Right, like I was like, "What's Rumble?" And of course, you send this to somebody, and they start looking up what these alternative sites are, and they criticize it, and that's a conspiracy theorist site or whatever. But you can't see these things on mainstream things that we're used to watching from, right? So that's where I would send people. I would say watch these two documentaries. And The Fall of the Cabal, they're just like 20-minute, 25-minute little clips. Like I don't know what you want to call them, but they're not too long. And then of course the Out of Shadows was a really good one, basically explaining what's been going on in Hollywood. And it explains a lot of things, and I think it's just a really it would be overwhelming still, but at least it's not like I'm sitting with them, you know dumping a fire hose down their throat. And that's unfortunately how I was waking up, because I was thirsty for it. I wanted to know. I think subconsciously I knew there was a lot going on that I wasn't aware of, but I knew something. And so when somebody tweaked me, it was my girlfriend actually in Guelph, Ontario. She tweaked me, and I was like, "Send me more." And she basically sent me to Rumble, to different sites, and said, "Go check this out. Go check this out." And the best advice I got was, "Don't Google anything." Right? Like, don't Google. But then, as you know, Chloe, you start posting on social media, and I got my Twitter account, or X account, got taken down. I grew from 12,000 to 110,000. It got taken down. Well, I got like hacked basically, and they changed my password. I even emailed Elon and tried to get everything back, set up another account. That one got hacked again. Instagram got taken down. Like I've been just completely taken over. I mean, I just can't believe it. And yet there's been some people that are in the freedom world that have their accounts have grown astronomically, and like Theo was one of them there in Florida that I worked with, and he's big and he hasn't been taken down, so I don't really get it. But so I've tried to share things on social media as well, but it's really just you have to know where to go, and that's the only disadvantage for us or for people, is that it's not in their face. I mean, the media is starting to tell some truths, but not fast enough as far as I'm concerned.
Have you seen or noticed a rise in independent voices in Canada since COVID in terms of, I mean, maybe not necessarily news, but just in general?
Hmm. Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
How
I mean,
so?
there's a ton of people that were, like me. They had a coaching business or they were stay-at-home moms. There's tons, and we've all connected, which is super, super cool and very special because they're just beautiful human beings. That were starting to talk about homeschooling. Another was talking. I actually remember one of them was Kaler Betts, and I saw his brave, courageous post that he made about COVID and how we were being lied to and whatever. And actually, he was one of the people that really gave me the courage and the confidence to start sharing what I wanted to share, which was, what I was seeing and how I felt. And what happened there was I had a lot of people in my community that were feeling the same way. And it's kind of funny. Like we don't like to, I don't like that we rely on like what I would call a celebrity or whatever to, let's see what they're eating or what they're doing or what they buy to see like if that works for me too. But for some people, that what it was that they saw me standing up, right? So I can't sit here and say I was a pioneer of speaking out. It actually helped me to see other people that, and it's not that they were just like nobody, everybody's special. So I don't want to say that they were just like, Jane Doe or whoever that were nobodies in their home. They took a risk as well. They probably lost their job. They got annihilated on social media or whatever it took, but they just didn't care. They wanted to get the truth out there as much as possible. So those people helped me actually start speaking out as well. I'm super grateful for hundreds of them. So yeah, and it just kept building and building and building. And again, it goes back to this whole not everybody's platform is social media, right? Some people are more comfortable being in public speaking and they don't want to be on social media. It is very time consuming. So,
Certainly.
yeah,
So, is this part of what sparked your interest in becoming a speaker at our Reclaiming conference this fall?
absolutely. I'm really excited. And I think the big thing for me is, watching videos of the past events was very successful. And just to see again that community family feel and the respect and the appreciation, the love that is shared. And I just feel like it's elevating. It's one of those events where we're all going to be at. And yeah, it's a lot of information, but you're having so many different speakers from different walks of life and have different information to share that we're all there to help each other. And what I love about it is it's solution based. We all know the problems. Most of us know the problems, right? But let's start talking about solutions and how we can heal and how we can move on. We can evolve. We can help each other. We can build a new earth, right?
Absolutely. And is it, would you say, important for conversations like this to be held in person? Are they more impactful when you're face to face to someone as opposed to, watching a recording on a screen?
Oh my goodness. It is obviously helpful to see things online. But I think that when people, like we used to say this all the time with Canadians for Truth, when you are actually in person at an event and you get to like see, the person in the flesh or, hear their voice in, you looking at them and hearing them, it makes a huge difference. And I also think just being around other people is what is so energizing and so uplifting. And you know what I mean? It's very heart centered kind of work. We're doing God's work. And I just feel like, and I hope I'm not offending anybody by talking this way, but it's literally like we're all sitting in a room speaking truth, right? There's nothing more powerful. That is the highest vibration. And you can't feel that through a screen, right? We can put the intention out there for sure, but when you're in a room or you're in an auditorium or you're in some space with all this energy, it's the high vibe. It is so awesome. I have goosebumps just talking about it.
Honestly, could not have said that any better. That is all the more reason for our listeners to check out our website,
Yeah.
weunify.ca, for tickets to our Reclaiming conference. Do not miss it. Like Jamie said, it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to
Oh,
have those
so good.
conversations and network with amazing people. So, thank you so much, Jamie, for your time and for answering our questions. And we're excited to see you in September.
God bless, Chloe. Thank you so much for having me.